What's up YouTube? My name is Andrew Shakespeare and today I'm going to show you 4 different ways to make a face mask out of a short sleeve t-shirt. The first way is the simplest. You literally cut off a t-shirt sleeve, this being the armpit side down here. Put that to the back. And that's that. I wouldn't say this is a medical quality or anything of the sort, but something's better than nothing. So let's save the certified mask for the people on the front lines during this pandemic. And if you're young and healthy like me, who doesn't like a bandana looking face mask anyways, you know? The good thing about the bandana style face mask is it doesn't require any sewing or any upgrades or anything crazy. They're super quick, decently reliable. It does more than block germs that are airborne. I'm a skateboarder and I live in Colorado, so I've been making those face masks just like that for cold days when I forget my snowboarding face mask. The second way is very similar. You're gonna need a strip of elastic, preferably this 1/2 inch decently stretchy elastic. You're going to cut off the t-shirt sleeve just like we did with the last one. Go to the back end of it. Again, this is the armpit of the shirt. Take it, fold it along that seam line, and cut a little half moon out of it. Now, I did this with this sleeve because this was an extra large t-shirt and this one is a large. So this sleeve is a little bit wider. So what I did is stitched on both sides this piece of elastic, and I only cut it about 2 inches. And when I placed it, I made it to where the circumference of the sleeve is actually smaller. So the sleeve would naturally sit about there. With this, it sits there. So it gives you a little bit more support in the back, and stays up a lot better than the black one does. Even though this one was bigger, it still fits a lot better. And again, this is only a single layer of cotton, so I'm not expecting this to be the highest quality medical grade face mask. But again, something is better than nothing. And this was made in 5 minutes. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can make a mask just like this with the elastic in the back, just by hand stitching. You only need a couple. It doesn't have to be professional. You're not going on a photo shoot with it. I mean, you probably could. Now, for the third one, I'm gonna actually do this in front of you. I have the other sleeve from this t-shirt and pieces of the shirt that are left over. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take the sleeve, flip it inside out, go to the bottom seam, again this is the armpit, and cut this seam out all the way. Now I recommend staying as close to it as possible because you don't want to make it too small. But then again, it's cotton. It's a t-shirt, it probably has some stretch to it, so you might want to make it too small. Sometimes smaller is better. That is not what she said. Should have got my fabric cutting scissors because these are kind of dull. So, once you have that cut out, trash it. Now what you're going to want to do, you have your t-shirt sleeve cut and laid out. You take another material, it could be leather, it could be fabric, it could be whatever you want, and just cut a diamond that's about the size of your face, or a circle, or whatever you want to cut. I guess you can cut any shape, as long as it covers your nose and your mouth. We're going to lay this out favoring the top, which there's this stitch from the from the end of the sleeve. That will be the top of your mask. Now, with your sewing machine, you'll run a stitch around the perimeter of this. Now, I've never claimed to be a seamster. As a matter of fact, my buddy Stanley just taught me how to sew like last week. So, don't judge me. This isn't for a fashion show. But, as you can see, we now have a second layer on our face mask. And this tip perfectly covers my nose. And it goes to just below my chin. So, we now have a second layer on our face mask. Alright, I'm going to show you 3 and 4 at the same time. So you can take this shirt sleeve and fold it a particular way to give you another layer and elastic pieces for your ear. So how we do that is we take it, lay it flat, take this end, fold it in, take this end, fold it in, creating a square. Fold this bottom rounded side up. The side's rounded because this is where the torso connected with the sleeve, the inner stitch. Fold that up. Not too much because you don't want to take away from your second layer. So right to the base of your second layer. And what you're going to do is run the first stitch straight across here, sewing this part, this flap down, and holding these 2 sleeves to the front of the shirt. Once you do that, it'll look like this. Now, from this point, you can take thin elastic bands. I'll leave a product link in the description below for all of the elastic bands that I'm using. The sides are still open, so what you'll want is take your elastic band, put it about an inch inside, depending on how long your elastic is. I have plenty of space, so I'm gonna put them about an inch inside and pinch it. Now what I'm gonna do is put this in the sewing machine and start my stitch going across the vertical side of your face mask, holding in this elastic band. Now you gotta make sure to run a back stitch, so go over it and then backwards and then over it again to make sure that it's locked in place. And again, you're gonna wanna make sure to put a back stitch as soon as you feel like you've passed over it. So I feel like that stitch passed over it. Now I'm going to back stitch. I'm trying not to go too fast. Now back forward. Lift the foot. Lift this. Pull this out. Give it a chop. And now that piece goes over your ear. Now you gotta do the same thing over here. Make sure not to leave too much. I left a little bit too much. When you're working with a t-shirt sleeve, it's extra wide, so it almost reaches your ears directly when you do that. Like, there's only maybe 2 inches there, or I got more than 2 inches of space here. So it's a little bit loose, I can tell already. Like, in order to be tight, I could probably end up folding this in half and cutting little holes here to send the stitch through. And then you'll have a quadruple layer, which, as long as it's tight, you'll probably be pretty safe. So actually, there's number 5 for you. Unplanned, but you can fold it in half. At that point, snip, snip, 2 little holes here, making sure they go through the layers. You can maybe use an X-Acto knife and take it from here and poke it through on both sides. Just be careful not to rip it all the way open, because that would suck. But if you just do it properly and you put smaller elastic bands on both sides, then this would work really well. It covers your nose with that secondary area, that fold, that rounded flip down. So this would be essentially 1, 2, 3 layers and 4 over your nose. So that's that one. Back to this one. Now we double stitched this layer on the front. Now what we're going to do is fold it inside out and rerun the stitch on the seam, the original stitch that we cut off. The reason we cut it off is so we had a flat surface to put our secondary layer on, our triangle, or our diamond if you will. So all we're going to do with this one is, like I said, fold it inside out and run this stitch along the back side. This original seam that we had cut out, we're just restitching that. Now you'll take it stitched along this side and stitched here in the middle. Take it and flip it right side out. But yeah, there you have it. So there's 4 or 5 different face mask designs with just the sleeve of a t-shirt. And you can make it fun too. You don't have to use plain white. You can look for t-shirts with printed images on the sleeve and then have your camo bandana. You can fold it up and stitch it, put elastic around the ears. You can just run it as a regular t-shirt sleeve. I think all of them would be pretty effective compared to not having anything. So, hope this video helped. Stay safe, stay clean, and like and subscribe.